Good evening, everybody. Nate Eaton here in the EastIdahoNews.com newsroom. Some breaking news today in the Chad Daybell case. His attorney, John Pryor, is asking to withdraw. He filed a motion basically saying that his client, Chad, can no longer pay him and that Chad needs a death penalty qualified attorney. So this is called a motion to withdraw. John Pryor has been Chad's attorney since May of 2021. So over 2 years, almost 3 years this May. And he has been at every court hearing by himself, sole counsel. John Pryor is not death penalty qualified. He's never done a death penalty case. And in Idaho, if you are an attorney, you need to be death penalty qualified. John Pryor is not. But he was independently hired by Chad, so one could assume that because Chad Daybell chose him to be his attorney, that was Chad's decision. You know, Vallow Daybell's attorneys, Jim Archibald and John Thomas, they are both death penalty qualified attorneys, and they were appointed to her case, but death penalty ended up coming off the table. But you can read all about that. The big news today, John Pryor saying that he's represented Chad Daybell since day one in this case. After speaking with Mr. Daybell, I have confirmed he is unable to pay any additional funds, and he believes it would be a disservice for me, John Pryor, to continue to represent him in a capital case and trial without compensation. He seeks the appointment of 2 capital qualified attorneys to represent him in this matter. I convinced an attorney from the Boise area to petition to become capital qualified. However, the process, even after a significant amount of time, has not been approved by the Public Defense Commission. So Pryor saying he went to an attorney in Boise and said, you need to get death penalty qualified. This attorney tried, and he has not been approved by the Public Defense Commission. The time to have meaningful assistance by co-counsel has long passed. Then Pryor says, at the present time, even assuming I work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I could not complete all the tasks necessary to represent Mr. Daybell in this matter. It's no secret or surprise that the Public Defense Commission lacks the necessary number of capital qualified attorneys in the state to effectively represent all of the needs of the state. Therefore, Mr. Daybell requests me to withdraw. This is a big request considering that the trial is set to begin April 1st. That's, you know, less than 3 months away in Boise, in Ada County. And this has been going on for so long. I mean, it was 4 years ago this month that I was in Hawaii when I first met Chad and Lori. I asked them where the children were. So this has been quite a lengthy process. Of course, Vallow Daybell was found guilty last year, I should say, and then sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole. So there will be a hearing next week where John Pryor will argue why he should be dismissed from the case. What could Boyce do? A number of things. He could say you need to stay on the case, although there could be appeal issues with that. If John Pryor has said, I'm not qualified to do this, then one would think that Chad Daybell could immediately appeal the verdict if he's found guilty, and then it goes all over again. I guess that they could take death penalty off the table because then you don't have to worry about the capital issue, and then John Pryor stays on. But the other issue is he doesn't have money. So then does John Pryor become appointed by the state to defend him and get money? That's the question. The other big thing in this motion is John Pryor says, I'm simply not ready. If I were to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 4 months straight, I still wouldn't be ready. He points to the fact that the prosecutors have 5 attorneys from 2 county offices hired at the taxpayer expense doing this. Remaining on the case would require me to work around the clock more than full-time for 4 months without compensation. So it's an interesting timing decision here. You know, Pryor has tried or has successfully delayed the case several times from going to trial because of DNA evidence and whatnot. And so now this is being filed. The other thing that Boyce does is he says, okay, we're letting you go. And then 2 new attorneys are appointed. If that happens, there is no way this trial will happen in April. Not a chance in the world. We'd be lucky if it happened this year. It probably would be 2025 if 2 new attorneys. The bigger question is who would be appointed. It would not be Jim Archibald or John Thomas, I don't believe, because they represented Lori in the conspiracy case. Lori would have to sign away her right to have them represent Chad would have to, and it could just get complicated. There's only a few death penalty certified attorneys in the state. So you would have to find 2 more to take them. And at least one of them, probably 2, are on the Koberger case. So this is quite a quandary, quite a filing. We have the whole thing at eastidahonews.com if you want to go read it. Again, if you're just tuning in, Chad Daybell's attorney, John Pryor, has filed a motion to withdraw from the case, saying his attorney can no longer pay him, or his client, excuse me, can no longer pay him, and that he is not death penalty qualified to represent him in a capital murder case. We'll see what happens. We are going to request permission from the judge to stream the hearing, which I believe will be Thursday up in Madison or Fremont County. I'm hearing it might be in Madison this time. And we'll let you know what the judge decides and what the hearing goes from there. All right. Thanks for watching. Read all about it at eastidahonews.com.